We've got breaking news. LeBron is a Laker.
Let's take him back.
LeBron James, Los Angeles, is out of the championship business. He wants to be a 6'8" Kevin Hart. That's why he's here.
LeBron James has a better chance probably of winning an Emmy than he does winning a championship in LA.
A few moments later.
The Pelicans have agreed to finally trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers.
I think the Pelicans won the trade about as convincingly as I've ever seen a team win a superstar trade.
Well, our Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Kawhi Leonard is going to join the Clippers.
Kawhi is the reigning and defending best player in the game until proven otherwise, and that includes LeBron James.
Kawhi Leonard is so much easier to plug in to any lineup than Anthony Davis.
Defensively, who are the Lakers using to stop guys on the perimeter?
The Lakers, the back end of that roster, you've got... I'm not sure on anybody else there. What have we seen from Dwight Howard that would lead you to believe that he's going to come in and make any difference at all?
Is it not more likely that the Lakers miss the playoffs than win a championship?
So the odds are better that they miss the playoffs than they win the championship?
I would say so, yes.
They don't have Avery Bradley. Good luck against Portland.
The Los Angeles Lakers in 5.
You cannot get to a conference finals. You can't hit threes, and you can't defend them, and they don't do either.
As this series comes to an end, the Lakers advance.
Denver now's healthy, Jokic and all. Anthony Davis disappears from fourth. This is who he is. He got no dog.
Oh, it's good! Anthony Davis!
And I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me.
He'll take a three. LeBron James will hit a three. How about it? LeBron James and the Lakers are headed back.
2020 got off to a terrible start, but this team has been a beacon of light, channeling that Mamba mentality. It took a while, but the Lakers are back.
All right, you know what time it is. You know why we're here, okay? We are here, ladies and gentlemen, because it's just it's so happy. I'm so ecstatic that your 2020 NBA champion, Los Angeles. I can't do this. Let me explain something to you guys. First and foremost, you know what it is. It's your host, Clifford Manny, Right Hand Jesus, moves.com. I'm gonna let my co-hosts introduce themselves, but you know what? How about you introduce yourself first, man, to the far left? That way, it's like you have to end. So let's get started.
I'm so dead. So
yeah, so just go ahead, bro. Give your minuscule intro, all right?
Oh no.
Little baby, little weak ass.
So I just assumed another, position because I'm Lakers assistant. Water boy.
Ooh, you proud?
I get a ring. So.
That tainted water in Orlando, that COVID water.
That more like that championship water.
Ooh, you right? Oh, any insults gonna wash off you today, huh?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Just wash off with champagne, right?
yeah.
You know what
turn your pain to champagne. Shout out Pop Smoke. Turn your pain
young
to
post
champagne.
Up, young fadeaway, young championship, young number 17. Y'all gonna hear from me later, bro.
That's
Just
it.
Get over it, yeah.
All right. Well, it's your boy Cash Manny. CEO of Prestige. I'm not wearing any Prestige today, but you could go to press the link.
Cop your merch.
It'll be down there below somewhere. So
for sure.
Let's get it started, boys.
All right. Well, first thing, only thing.
Tell us how you
Major
feel, bro.
thing.
Tell us how you feel, bro.
Tell me how you look. Look. At the end of the day, this isn't about me, right? I don't have rights to have feelings.
You're right.
I don't have rights to have feelings.
So
Be that as it may, I have feelings. Here's how I feel. First and foremost, it is very hard to me to express congratulatory statements to this franchise. As you know, I'm a diehard Celtics fan. It hurts. So I'm going to add a little bit of Celtics propaganda into this. Former Celtic Rajon Rondo is a 2-time NBA champion. Okay? And, I'm happy for the guy. I'm happy. He's a vet. He got 2 more rings than CP3.
that was low.
you know, you got to take them where you can when you don't have a chip. You feel me? You got to take them where you can when you don't have a chip. It's impressive. All right. All hate aside, it's impressive. You know, because I'm not going to be one of those people whose narrative changed. We all thought the Trailblazers were going to be a threat. We did, except that, man. Not a threat to win, but a threat to be more challenging as opponents. And this is not any disrespect to the Trailblazers. They just ran into the better team. Like, people are going to try to say, oh, well, they underperformed. This was their ceiling. Like, no. You don't just go from looking like a top 3 team in the bubble, even without a defense, to looking that overmatched. That's impressive. They go into the second round. Who they see? Who they see in the second round?
The Rockets.
Yeah, it wasn't even relevant.
I didn't even remember.
Look, at the end of the
to be
day,
honest with you,
You know,
it
and then they
happened.
took
It
out.
happened.
They took it, you know, and you know, everybody thought, you know, propaganda. Everybody, Clippers, Lakers, all LA conference finals. As we all know, the Clippers are frauds.
Cowards.
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 So it's like, it's just as, you know, I don't even want to think about what could have been, because at the end of the day, you guys
Couldn't
lost 3-1. Exactly. Couldn't be, because again, coulda, shoulda, woulda, hypotheticals, all that. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If you wanted to prove you would have been a better dance partner, you should have been at the dance. So that's what it is. And the same ruling applies to my team. For the simple fact that that was our dance. That was our dance card. And, you know, instead, Jimmy Butler punched his ticket. And also, much respect to the Miami Heat on the other side of this. Because regardless of what everybody else was talking about, regardless of what we were talking about, everybody out here said 5. Pushing the Lakers to 6. The 6th game, as much as people are going to try to give the Heat like, oh, look, that was a strong case of a team that gave everything they had, and it was just nothing left to give. Their tank was empty. And if I'm a coach, as disappointing as that ending is for Eric Spoelstra, I couldn't be more proud of my guys. Couldn't be. And if I'm Frank Vogel, I'm smiling so hard because in 1 year, I brought a championship to LA, and Doc Rivers was there for 7 and did nothing.
Bruh.
So, you know, and Jeannie Buss looks way better than whoever is in charge of the Clippers right now. And you know what? Kawhi Leonard is not the best player in the league, in case some of y'all needed a reminder. He's probably not even top 2, because AD looking like he want to be top 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to people like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who I think is ass.
Talk it up, bro. Talk it up.
Yeah, shout out to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, man.
Who
Yo, I'm gonna give them their flowers. You know, shout out to No Shirt JR. He didn't contribute much, but shout out, hey,
he was there.
JR Smith was shirtless before anybody else, and there were some people that played minutes. So shout out to JR. Shout out to Dwight Howard, man.
You right.
Shout out to Dwight, man, because I want you all to know, people have had conversations with me before about, is Dwight Howard a Hall of Famer? I want you all to understand, Tracy McGrady is an inductee, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their resumes, he's accomplished so much less than Dwight Howard.
It's really insulting.
Like, literally, now that Dwight Howard's a championship, his resume is top tier. It's like in the 99th percentile of Hall of Fame candidates. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer with the championship now, then no one is a Hall of Famer. And say what you will about Dwight. Look, what is he? 3-time Defensive Player of the Year?
3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
God knows how many all defensive teams.
God knows how many rebounding titles.
Blocks titles.
Dunk
Been to a finals by himself before, so dragged the team to a finals.
2-way finals.
Right?
Yep.
Now he has a championship.
He's the best big man in the league.
What is he, like a 7-8-time All-Star? Like, he has the credentials. Finished like 3rd in MVP voting or 2nd 1 year. So it's like, let's not act like this man didn't build himself up a resume. So congratulations to him for being a championship caliber player, championship player now. Shout out to Kuz, man, because to be able to do nothing and little to nothing, and then your girlfriend is so fine, and then you get a chip, and then you try and fail to recreate Kobe's one of his greatest iconic post-championship photos. How? I thought you said let me get it off. I thought you. What are you talking about? I'm giving him his credit. He's a champion.
He played in the playoffs though.
Yeah,
he played well for half the playoffs.
We're giving out participation awards now.
When you participate on the
championship.
Yeah,
you right here. I can't say nothing to that, ladies and gentlemen.
How many minutes did he play in the finals versus?
All right, here we go. Go ahead.
25 other, besides 25 other people. You know, he was one of those 26 people that played or
Oh yeah,
on
bro.
the team. So
Oh yeah, and it doesn't matter that he didn't have a big moment. He is the first out of his class to get a ring, right?
you know what? And he played well in the first couple of games too. Like,
Of the finals?
Yeah, like I mean, not in the game. The first game he lost, he played well, and then that was pretty much it.
All right, I can't take this. I will. Oh my goodness, the sky will turn red before I sit here and act like I want to give Kyle Kuzma his flowers. Die.
All right, bro.
Like, I don't care.
Sunset soon, so you might see a little tinge.
Oh, okay, yo. You know what? You tell him your thoughts, Chris, because I've had just about enough of this disgusting display.
Thank you for your input there.
I mean, I was just gonna let y'all hash it out, but
Nah, bro, we want to hear what you got to say.
Nah, bro. Speak your mind, all right? You part of this pod. You a co-host. Speak up.
I'm just gonna gain the ammunition,
Hey, man, look. Say what you will about, LeBron's fourth ring doesn't count. It counts. He deserves it. He earned it. He went over to L.A. He brought AD to L.A., and they did what everybody said that they couldn't do. So people got to put even more respect, and they have to stop hating. You just have to appreciate greatness. That's really the bottom line of it. It's the entire Lakers organization. Shout out to them. Y'all did well. And for your sake, I mean, I'm not going to say I hope there's more to come because I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm not going to say that.
Let's calm down.
Hence, I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm not going to say that.
Look, it was very impressive to do what they did in the bubble, but let's calm down.
But good job. Y'all deserve this. I'm happy for y'all.
All right, what we're not going to do, I'm going to sit here and eat crow, but I'm not going to pretend to be happy about it, okay? I'm not going to pretend like this makes me happy.
Hey, look, man. I'm an OKC fan.
And another thing before you start getting into anything. No. And another thing.
I'm neutral, bro.
Oh, now you're picking bold. Now you're picking. All right, you know what? Tired of this.
Let y'all get y'all shit off. Now it's time to talk about what happened this NBA year.
And here's to the next 20 minutes. 7, take it away.
First things first.
Here for this?
Yes.
First things first. Shout out to all my Laker fans. We back. All right. We back. So, in every great story, there's a protagonist, right? And this is about to be some OD Lakers propaganda, but in every great story, there's a protagonist, right? And in the NBA, the great thing about the NBA is that there is no true antagonist. It's just that your team is the guy that's supposed to win at the end of the book, right? They're the guy that's supposed to overcome the greatest obstacle.
Oh, you're a novelist now? Are you?
Bro, the way it is, it's an LA story, bro. You already know what it is. So, like I said, every great story has a protagonist, and Lakers are the protagonists. We are the champions. It took us 7 years to get back to, real contention and playoff contention, that is. And it's been 10 long years.
Can you speak, my guy?
10 long, bro, I'm intoxicated.
Maybe you're just not prepared to do this. We could skip over this topic.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. So, 10 years since our last championship, bro. It's felt like forever because we sucked so bad for the past 7 years. Dwight Mayer, Kobe with the Achilles, Lonzo Ball,
Robert Sacre,
Ryan Kelly, Wayne Ellington.
Yeah, you've gone through it.
Steve Blake, the ghost of Steve Nash's past.
Oh.
Bro, D'Angelo Russell and fucking Nick Young and just disgusting.
Man, you had to suffer through the Brandon Ingram show too, huh?
Ooh. Brandon Ingram was a bright spot in a dark past.
Really? What he win you?
I had Carlos Boozer for a time, I remember too.
Oh, we had Carlos Boozer. We had Tariq Black. Bro, we had weirdos on our team, bro. It was not LA, bro.
A bunch of off brands in Hollywood. Talk about it.
All that to say, this year, not only all that to say, coming into this year, it was the same dang thing. And the last season, Magic Johnson gets on TV. Yo, I'm not going to be here next year. I ain't going to be here. Bro, thank you, Magic Johnson, for bringing in LeBron James to the Laker organization. You did your job. Niggas talking about, oh, does Robert Pelinka know how to do basketball? Does he know what a cap is? He was Kobe Bryant's agent for 20 years. What the fuck you think? Y'all just got to check yourselves. Do you think the person who works the hardest in the NBA, in NBA history, is going to hire some fool to handle his business? And then when we make him our GM, that he just don't know the cap? Yo, are you kidding me? All right. So, shout out to Rob Pelinka. Shout out to Jeannie Buss. Shout out to Frank Vogel. Yo, we came into this offseason niggas talking about the dysfunction of our organization, you know. Oh, they don't know what they're doing. Oh, they put playmakers around LeBron, and that's terrible. LeBron's old. He's coming off injury. And then when we trade for AD, it's like we can't win. Oh, they gave up too much for AD. Are you stupid? Yo, they talking about, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to put the pieces around AD. Kawhi doesn't want to go there, so, they're going to be bad. Y'all niggas is dumb, bro. You put niggas really let LeBron and AD team up and think this shit wasn't going to happen?
David Stern would never, God rest his soul.
All right. Listen, he was a great.
What?
He was a great commissioner.
Stop it.
He was a great commissioner.
He would have never let this atrocity happen. God.
Bro.
You know what? Adam Silver comes into the league. KD goes to the Warriors. All this foolishness, rah-rah. You know what?
Shut up, Danny Ainge. Oh, anyway.
First of all, you will not disrespect such an amazing GM. Okay.
Anyway, so we have the whole.
Why don't you talk about it? Go ahead and start hitting on the Celtics and start.
No, because I would rather talk about our wins than the demise of the Celtics.
Whoa.
That's not what's important.
Okay, bro. What are you talking about? The demise? Okay, you know what? That's a different topic,
that's not
right?
Important at all.
You know what? It seems like we have no time left on this topic.
Anyway, so we everyone's talking about, oh yeah, y'all about to get Ty Lue. Bro, Frank Vogel gets laughed out of his freaking press interview for his introductory press conference. Bro, we're a dysfunction. We're a mess. Then when we start the season, smoking niggas. Oh, they're playing easy competition. Then when we win 7 straight road wins, oh, they just have to face the Clippers and the Bucks. We lose to the Clippers and the Bucks. Fine. Then what happens? We beat a bunch of good teams. Then it's, oh, they're supposed to do this.
Calm down. Y'all beat the Nuggets.
And we beat the Bucks and the Clippers and y'all, even though y'all aren't the same level as those other.
Whoa, stop it. All right, you know what?
Anyway.
It's one thing to celebrate your damn championship. Okay, go ahead.
And then it's another thing to do what you're doing right now.
What are you talking about, bro?
Making snide remarks.
Snide remarks? I've supported you, bro. I said congratulations. I gave Rondo and Dwight their flowers.
And you know what? That's the craziest thing. Dwight's old. Avery Bradley's a cat. He isn't what he used to be.
Oh, shit. My guy Avery also has a ring now.
Danny Green. Oh, he's trash.
Come on.
They got Alex
Come on.
Caruso,
wait, hang on.
McGee,
You're going to defend Danny.
Bro, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Look, all I know is you want Danny back next year?
That's not important. That's not important. We took all the niggas y'all said was trash. We took LeBron, who y'all said was washed. We took AD, who said, oh, he can't last a full season. Oh, he's not worth what they were giving up for him. Y'all, 5. And what happened? 17 championships. Y'all really doubt? Yo, there's one thing about the Lakers. Once they have the talent, they don't lose like that. They don't squander the opportunity. And y'all still haven't learned after 60-something years in the NBA and 17 titles and the most playoff wins in NBA history. Out here counting out one of the greatest of all time. Top 2 in my opinion, and in most people's opinion. Anthony Davis will go down as one of the greatest of all time. And y'all out here oh, it was an easy path after deciding, oh, they couldn't keep up with the Clippers after the Clippers lose to the fucking Denver Nuggets. Man,
They didn't just lose.
Man, in the second round.
Not just in the second round. Talk about it.
Bro.
They were up 3-1.
Bro.
Paul George hit the side of the backboard.
It's the constant disrespect, bro, because you come into this playoffs, oh, Portland Trailblazers is going to give them trouble. We don't come out. We couldn't. Bro, we have literally one of the worst shooting performances of all time, and we lose by like 7. Okay. And then we play better, and we win in 4, and it's not even close. All these 5-game series weren't as close as they looked, except for the Denver one, because obviously AD game winner in game 4. And then you look at the Rockets. Oh, they can't get out the small ball lineup. They're going to get run out the gym. Bro, we clamp these niggas, bro. Shout out to Russell Westbrook because he's one of my favorite players in the NBA. We clamp these niggas. Come to the Denver Nuggets. Our first respectable opponent. Jamal Murray doesn't have enough. Jokic, gamer, doesn't have enough. Shout out to Miami Heat because they're just like us. They have heart. They work hard. But they were playing way above their, bro, stratospheres above. They not the same level as us, bro. Like, I love Jimmy. I love their team. And obviously, Goran Dragic has a lot to do with this. But they were not, bro. We played hard for 2.5 games this whole series.
I'm going to stop you right there.
2.5 games.
I'm going to stop you right there. I understand. I don't want to cut you off. But as you know, we do try to keep this in a certain time slot. And if this was the Lakers championship propaganda episode, I would have let you know that.
All right. So anyway,
he's gonna
this is the way it was supposed to be, America. This is the way it was supposed to be. LeBron comes to LA, the biggest player to the biggest franchise in the biggest market, comes to LA and wins a chip. We went through the most turmoil, losing to the ass teams, getting questioned. Out here, everyone's out here doubting us. And then Kobe happens. From that moment on, it was
RIP. Greatness.
Bro, from that point on, it started before this season.
Wait, hang on. I'm going to stop you. Show off the shirt, bro. Let them know what you're wearing.
Bro, they see it, bro.
They see it?
Shout
they can't see the
Kobe
legend
Bryant.
at the bottom. They can't see the legend at the bottom.
They know what's forever legend, bro. They know a real legend, bro. From even before the season, getting stuck in China in some communist ass place, not knowing if we're gonna get back home in the preseason, and not to mention DeMarcus Cousins gets hurt right before the season started.
ACL gone. Playing pickup basketball in the Bahamas. Nah, I'm playing. He killed himself in a Lakers workout, a pickup game right before the season started. That's crazy. Do you think you're signing the market? Wait, that's a different topic of conversation.
Shout out to Kobe Bryant. We love you. We did this for you. This is really what this championship was for. It wasn't for the fans. It wasn't for COVID. It was for Kobe Bryant. And it almost didn't happen, right? We almost didn't have basketball this year. And we almost didn't have basketball again when they killed Jacob Blake.
Talk about it.
So it's been a trying year. Laker fans, we've been hurt the most this year, I can definitely say, in terms of just fandom. RIP to Kobe Bryant. This one's for you. Number 17. Going to start this decade off right. Back-to-back coming soon.
Okay. That was a rousing monologue. But moving right along. Okay? We're going to look at the other side of this. Not too in-depth, but I do have to give someone their flowers. Someone we've talked about, someone we've questioned, someone we demanded more from. And when the lights were brightest and when the criticism was at its peak.
He ain't getting no criticism. He ain't getting no criticism.
Criticism in the sense that, and it wasn't even criticism. It was just the naysayers, the haters, the people talking about, well, after game 1, well, this series is going to be 30-point blowouts all the way through. Oh, well, there's no one talented enough on the Heat to get them a game. Like, oh, they just don't have enough. Like, their three-pointers can't fall. Like, the talent level. Look, we lost to them. And I hate that. And it will dig into my soul until we win a championship. Not until we beat them again, until we win a championship. But the fact of the matter is they beat us. They beat everybody. They beat the Bucks. They beat the Pacers, who everybody, like, not just us, who thought it was going to be a long series. Most people did. They came in, they beat us, who were favored. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. We were projected to win. They came in all throughout the East and they handled their business as a team that wasn't even projected to come out of their own division or their own conference, excuse me. And yeah, the Heat went into that finals being completely overmatched and everybody knew that. But I feel like what people didn't know and what people got to see is that it has never been Jimmy Butler. The media has tried to convince you over the last 3 some-odd years that Jimmy Butler is a bad teammate. He's a locker room cancer. He wants it his way. What Jimmy did in this finals was nothing short to me of spectacular. Because let me be very clear. Dragic went down. And Dragic was the reason that they were winning a lot of these games. Dragic was actually the offensive focal point. And we were demanding. We were claiming because the Heat, Jimmy hadn't had an impressive game to me. Like, even all the games versus the Bucks, the 40-point game he had versus the Bucks, he didn't get to the line like over 15 times. So we were even here sitting down like he was playing for the free throw line. Can he go to that place? Jimmy Butler gave us 2 monster triple-doubles in the finals. Jimmy Butler gave us elite defense in the finals. Jimmy Butler gave us elite playmaking in the finals. Jimmy Butler gave us elite leadership. In terms of leaders in the NBA, the best leader in the NBA to me is Chris Paul. And it's been like that for a while. Jimmy Butler's top 2, ladies and gentlemen. I would run through a wall for Jimmy Butler. Every team would be blessed to have a Jimmy Butler. What he did, not only for the franchise, but for the coach who put the ball in his hands. Because let me be very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody heard the noise. Just like the Lakers had noise, Jimmy was getting a lot of the same noise. He's going to South Beach for the money. He's going to South Beach because he wants to chill. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to win. He left the 76ers, so he doesn't want to win. You know who didn't want to win? 76ers. For not fucking keeping Jimmy Butler.
Brand, Ben Simmons, bums.
All bums. Joel Embiid, their best player. I know that if I'm the 76ers, I would be shook. Because let me be very clear about the 76ers. Sorry to get off topic. If they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals at least next year,
it's clipped.
Joel's going to try to force his way out. He should.
Nah, you know what? Fuck that. He shouldn't because he's part of the problem. So
he is part of the problem. But at the end of the day, when there are so many problems in your franchise, even if you're one of them, if you're also one of the biggest solutions to why you don't totally suck ass, you could do what you want. Like, yeah, Joel Embiid is a problem. His health is a problem. But also, not putting the right personnel around Joel Embiid, so even if his health wasn't in question, it wouldn't work most likely. It's not on him. Like, a lot is on Joel Embiid. Like, the fact that he's not a top 2 big man in the league is a disgrace. But he's not. But we're not here to talk about the 76ers' failures. We're here to talk about Jimmy Butler's success. 40-point triple-double in the finals with 5 steals. The next game, the Lakers won a tight one. And game 5 was Jimmy Butler's 35-point triple-double.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To me, that was more impressive than the 40-point one. And let me explain why.
He sat for 48 seconds.
He sat for 48
That's 2
seconds.
possessions.
48 seconds. That's 48 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. He missed 48 seconds of gameplay. The end of that game, like, it's something to be said about the Lakers because they're the type of team where you could play elite defense, you could go hard, you could try. But playing a team like that over a 7-game series, especially if you lack the talent, it can get demoralizing really fast. Once you realize that, oh shit, it's LeBron and AD on the other side of this, and they're not slowing down, and we're smaller than them, and they're more skilled than us. A lot of teams just give up. Jimmy Butler looked into the abyss and he didn't blink. He went full bore, and he took his game to levels that I didn't know he had. I didn't. And this isn't Jimmy Butler playing off of a Joel Embiid and getting buckets. This isn't Jimmy Butler with a lot of young talent in Cat and Andrew Wiggins. This is Jimmy Butler with a bunch of hard-nosed, late first round, second round picks, a bunch of grinders, a bunch of people who people thought wouldn't be there. This is Jimmy Butler leading a bunch of those guys without his legitimate offensive number 2, knowing every night that he's going to be the keyed in by the opposing team defense, which is the best defense in the league. And you come out and you perform like that, you get 2 wins off that team.
Game 3 was definitely like Game 4 to me was the best game. Game 5 was the second best game, and then Game 3 was just a masterpiece by Jimmy Butler.
Game 3 was a masterpiece, but like I said, Game 5 will be more impressive because he sat for 48 seconds, and he did all of that. And he did everything he did while also being the primary defender on LeBron James, who is the engine for the Lakers. Yeah. Eric Spoelstra literally matched his minutes with LeBron. Notice, Eric Spoelstra has a bunch of wing defenders. You know where he wanted Jimmy Butler? Directly on LeBron. You don't want Iguodala guarding him. You don't want Jay Crowder guarding him. None of that.
All those niggas are garbage.
Yeah, they can't hold LeBron.
Man, bro, don't get me started.
I'm not going to argue that with you. But in terms of the definition of what it takes to guard LeBron, and I know this because I've seen it and I've also lived it, what you want is a big, strong wing to try to get physical with him. The Heat have 3 or 4 of those. And even though they have 3, with the right mentality.
Too small.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Jimmy's the smallest person in terms of weight and height
and he held his ground
between them. And he's still the one who got the assignment. You know why?
LeBron must have had like 8 turnovers in the first game that we lost, and then like
exactly. People are gonna look at the overall numbers. It's a testament. Jimmy Butler also, I don't know if this stat is still relevant, but it popped up a couple of times in the past couple of years. Him and Kawhi are the only people with more career steals and fouls. And you saw why. You saw how aggressively he plays without fouling. You saw how he gave his guys the confidence to think this is something we could do. And that's why they performed. Yeah, it took monster games, but it's just like, if you don't have a leader who could take some games and say, you don't believe in it, believe in me. You don't believe you can do it, believe in me. If your leader isn't built like that, you're not a championship level squad. So as much as people want to say the Heat shouldn't have been there, whatever the case may be, they're the Eastern Conference champions. They beat everybody who was supposed to be ahead of them. And it's nothing but respect for those players and for that coach. Because game planning for LeBron James, as he is now, is almost an impossible task, especially with AD on his team and shooters. And Eric Spoelstra did that. And I want to be clear, the only 2 games that were close weren't just the 2 Heat wins. Like, Game 4 was close also. The Heat had a chance to win that game.
That game was ours.
You could say that, and I wouldn't disagree with you. But there were moments where if the Heat hit a couple of shots or got to stop, it could have gone the other way. Because you know as well as I do, there are games that teams can win when they had no business winning those games. And it's all about moments and situations. The Heat didn't capitalize on enough moments in Game 4 to win.
True.
If they had done that, we could have been talking about a different thing. What are your thoughts about Jimmy Butler? What do y'all think? Because I just give him his flowers. It was impressive, man. I'll give him his flowers.
Well, I'm gonna bring up a stat that I came across. So in the last 10 seasons, here are the top five people with the most clutch points in a playoff run in the last 10 seasons. It goes Dirk, Kawhi, and Jimmy Butler is third on that list. And then there's LeBron and Kevin Durant.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
That's OD.
Clutch points. So, again, put some damn respect on Jimmy Butler's name.
Oh, yeah.
Stop talking bad about him, because he just did that. He did way more than a lot of your favorite players have done in their entire career.
In the highest leverage moment, I wanna add that. Like, it's not no regular season, it's not no first, second round. He did this in the finals.
Exactly. On the biggest stage.
As the primary offensive weapon. Like, he's the end all. without Dragic, Jimmy Butler on offense is the end all be all for the Heat.
Exactly. This man literally laid out his body, blood, and heart and soul in Game 5 when he got the 35-point triple-double.
I can only hope that people on your favorite team, mine included, were watching the heart that Jimmy Butler displays.
Bro,
because a lot of times you could have the talent, and if the heart's not there, it still fucks you up.
Yeah.
After watching that game, I really felt like I needed to go to the gym and work harder than everybody else and then go play basketball. That's really how I felt, bro.
Oh, yeah. And
After
that's how you know.
watching him.
That's how you know what a good leader is, what a true leader is. It's the inspiration. Like, if somebody outside, like, if somebody's in their house watching you play the game and your performance inspires them on an emotional level to go do something, that's leadership. I don't care what anybody says.
Exactly.
I don't care what anybody says.
Especially, man. So, like I said, for me, the Jimmy Butler, his best game to me was Game 3. Just because Game 3, we did everything right on every other player, and then we still did things right with Jimmy Butler, and he was just torching us, figuring it out, just going berserk. 40-point triple-doubles. Like, I just had to give it to him. Like, this is an NBA Finals game, and you have fans of your opponent cheering you on, not so that you would win, but just like, there's so much. I just have so much respect for him for that game. And then in Game 5 was frustrating for me because, like, I mean, Jimmy Butler could have had 40 that night. If we had played with more effort, we would have won easily, I think, because I don't know, man. There were just too many open shots for everybody else. But LeBron James dropping 40 and Jimmy Butler back to back, one-on-one, low-key, like, back and forth with LeBron James in the closing minutes of a game.
That was great.
It was just it was the best thing you could ever see.
Bro, entertainment.
That's what you want. That's what you want. You want the best players being great in the greatest moments, going back to back. No letdown on either side. Like, it was crazy. And Jimmy is like that. And I came into the bubble, I wasn't a doubter, but I was just,
we hadn't seen it all year.
We hadn't seen it all year. And we knew he had it in his bag, but how long was it going to take for him to start doing it?
You just need to unzip the bag, bro. Pull it out.
Hey, yo.
Pause.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy, man, he just, Mr. Butler, superstar, bro.
Mr.
Top 10.
Top 10?
Top 10. And I'm only saying that because
no,
there's some other talented guys. There are more talented guys. But Jimmy just wills it. He has better will than most other players.
Being a better player than anybody doesn't mean you're more athletic, doesn't mean you're more offensively gifted, doesn't mean any of that. It means you're better when it counts most. Like, I could say, oh, you have fancy dribbling skills, oh, you're a marksman. At the end of the day, who are you gonna ride with? The dude who you know is a dog, and the dude who you know is gonna come through for you when it matters the most. You're gonna go with the guy who seems more talented, or he could do more flashy things. Like, no,
like Paul George,
like George Paul.
Whoops.
George Paul.
Whoops.
People,
Also,
I remember when this used to be a debate when Jimmy was on the Pacers and Jimmy was on the Bulls and Paul George was on the Pacers.
I used to swear by George Paul.
You used to. I used to say Jimmy. I used to say Jimmy because to me this was always the case. I'll always pick the person who's ready to get active, bro. to be a real nigga. Like, whoever's just really about it, like on the court, everything, scrappy, diving on loot, everything. Jimmy Butler is a star, but Jimmy Butler plays like he's a role player.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler doesn't play like he's owed anything. Jimmy Butler doesn't play like he's made it in this league yet. And he's made it to heights that Paul George still dreams about.
Yep.
And will never reach.
And most likely not.
In the current course of how he's going.
Paul George hop teams trying to search for success. Jimmy Butler hop teams trying to find people who wanted to work as hard as him.
Switching teams, you chumps.
Switching teams all the way to Cancun.
Also, I'd like to point out that Jimmy is realistically his only number 2 option, at least in the later games, was Duncan Robinson.
Literally.
Bro, oh my God.
Bro.
That pissed me off.
So
Jimmy didn't have a number 2.
Bro, he had 20.
He had 27, 26?
27 in game 5. And you know how many open 3-pointers he got? Like 5 of them.
Nah, it was like 4.
He
but
got like
I
2
also saw
four that he made.
First of all, but there were a lot of
Terrible
threes. There were like
defense.
3 threes that he made where it was just like, oh my God.
You could have been in his face.
It wouldn't matter.
But,
and you know what's crazy? I was waiting for that game because I was like, if Duncan Robinson doesn't have a great game, then it's just like
he's not supposed to have a great game against our type of defensive team.
But he did.
No. Stop. As a shooter yourself, you know sometimes there's gonna be a game when it's just like none of that matters. When you see the first one go in, it's just like this is that day. Yeah. I'm not saying he was gonna light it up the whole series just because of how y'all play your defense. I understood that. Like
he was gonna get a game maybe, but that was only because we lost focus.
And honestly, it's also a case of by the time he got to the final, by the time Duncan Robinson in the finals, he's getting the Steve Novak in 13 treatment. Novak's on the floor, Novak's on the floor, Novak's on the floor, and you could shake your head all you want. Steve Novak was a specialist. Like it got to the point in the NBA season where it was just like niggas didn't even care about Carmelo Anthony or Amari Stoudemire. They were just like Novak's on the floor. Like we got to change our defense because of Steve Novak. Duncan Robinson got on the floor and the Lakers got active. And that's a lot of. First off, credit to the Lakers, but also it shows the level of respect that a lot of these Heat players have gotten because of this playoff run, and that's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair.
As a Laker fan, we play the team though. It don't matter who.
Yeah.
But shout out to Jimmy Butler for doing things that most people cannot do. And we saw that this series, man. Like, this playoffs. Going into next season, like, I don't even know what they're going to look like. All I know is I'm happy that Jimmy Butler found his place, in Miami. Everyone was talking crap. But, yeah.
Hey, man, look. Shout out to Jimmy because he found a place. He found the perfect balance of young guys and vets, but he also found people who wanted to work as hard as him. But speaking of young guys and vets, right? In light of how this season played out, if you were to build a team in the league, if you were to build your team, how'd you build it? Would you prefer to have young talent or a squad with more veterans? Because looking at the overall layout of how this postseason played out, it's pointing to you need a veteran squad. You don't necessarily need the young talent. Like I look at the super young talented teams who were in the playoffs this season, like that actually had a chance. To me, the Nuggets and the Celtics were the super young teams that were super talented. There were a lot of veteran squads. Say what you will about the Clippers, frauds. They were a veteran squad. They had a bunch of veterans and they had championship proven players, right? The Portland Trailblazers, Lakers veteran squads, vets. Denver Nuggets young squad, Celtics young squad, Raptors veteran squad, and the Miami Heat.
They have a mix.
They had a mix,
50-50.
But it was like
I would say they're veteran squad.
They're a veteran squad though, exactly, because they're leaders. Think about it: Dragic, Jimmy, Crowder, Iggy, and then the youth. The youth is literally and Olynyk, who's been Olynyk's got enough playoff experience to be in.
I'm saying like he didn't even really play.
He didn't even really
play like 2 games.
And they have Udonis Haslem, whose only job is literally veteran presence.
Assistant coach. Yeah.
He's basically assistant coach, and that had a big.
I would call
Udonis Haslem had a big impact on the Heat's success this postseason. Anybody who doesn't know that needs to know that. Udonis Haslem has a coaching job in his future. Anybody who's smart needs to see that.
Oh, no, he's gonna.
But I think Pat Riley already sees that, and he's just like down the line. He's already like tuned in.
Because
Pat's a
coach for
like
sure.
Pat Riley is a mafia boss. Like he knows this already.
Keeps it in the family.
Yeah. After Eric Spoelstra, I wouldn't be surprised if Udonis took a year off and then translated his career into assistant coach officially in that official capacity, and he rides out the years until Eric Spoelstra retires.
Yeah,
because I see that for him. Like he's Mr. Heat. Like people talk about D Wade, Udonis Haslem is Mr. Heat.
But they do have they have a mix, but I would call them a younger team just because Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are like 2 of the top 5 most important players on their team.
But they also, I feel like they had as much success as they did because of the vets in their locker room. Like on a different team, Tyler Hero wouldn't have felt so okay to go because Jimmy, since day one, Jimmy was just like, "You're my rook, you got the green light." You saw that in the regular season. You saw that forever.
I mean, Yeah.
Even Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah.
Before Kendrick Nunn caught COVID, he was a big part of the Miami Heat.
And he came back and he was dropping buckets those last 2 games. So I don't know. You call it whatever. I don't think youngins were ever preferred for winning championships though. There was never a thing.
No, I feel that. I was just asking in terms of the year because think about it. The way I look at the youngins, I'm not talking about rookies or second years. Like, yeah, some of the third years, but a few third years because they have special talent. But there's a changing of the guard, right? There's, let's say, the people who are in the league and got drafted, let's say 2012, right? 2012, 2011.
Those are vets.
Yeah. Anybody after that, to me, you're a young guy and you're trying to get your moment to break out and break in.
Yeah.
And there's yet to be one of those young guys who broke out. Like, when did Kawhi get into the league? 2011. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like there hasn't been a KD got into the league in 2009. Steph Curry KD got into the league in 2007, excuse me. Steph Curry, 2009, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the last champions, like, if you keep looking at the last championships, no young guy has broken through the surface yet.
Because
But it's also a lot of these young stars also have a lot of young talent around them. And that's what I mean. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. It's a young squad. It's young talent. Donovan Mitchell. That's what I'm saying. Like I said.
Booker. I think it just takes a while for things to get right. Like, you think about how long it took look at how long it took LeBron to get a championship.
But that's fair. But then also to me that means that there's got to be some waiting period, and I feel like
there is.
Yeah, but
maturity and organizational maturity.
Yeah, but you also have to think about the fact that vets only want to play in winning situations, especially when you start to understand how this league goes. So it's like, how do you attract vets as a young team to take that extra step?
Oh, you trying to
hard
figure it
work
out for your team right now?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because no funny shit, bro. I look at something, but even the Nuggets, like I said, because the Celtics and the Nuggets are the team I'm focusing on because they got the furthest without vets. Let's be point blank, period.
I mean, Paul Millsap, but
Paul Millsap ain't never won nothing, though. He ain't never won nothing.
He's a vet, but their team is made up of the young guys.
It's a young guy. So
I mean, like the Dallas Mavericks, they got pretty far.
Yeah.
But the Dallas Mavericks did get far, and I thought they would have gotten further if injuries didn't occur.
Yeah.
The Clippers
playing and out coaching.
I know the Clippers are proud to be a second round exit every year, but it's like you could have been a first round exit. You frauds.
The Bucks too, though, they put a lot of vets around.
But they don't put vets who've won anything around Giannis.
I mean,
think about it. Brook Lopez is a veteran. And Brook Lopez spent most of his career on the Nets, who've won nothing. And the 1 year he was on the Lakers,
George Hill.
Think about George Hill. Okay, George Hill would be the most impressive vet on that team.
I don't even remember who the rest of their guys are.
You can't because it's irrelevant. Chris Middleton hasn't won anything. He's been on the Bucks. He got on the Bucks like a year or two before Giannis, and they've both been with the franchise their whole careers.
They're another young team. Yeah,
they are a young team. Like, when I say vets, I mean somebody like the experience is there along with the age. Like, you could have dudes who's 30 on your team.
There's no one out there, bro, and that's why I kind of look at it, and that's why fans of Western teams kind of look at the East, and it's just like, y'all are. It's so annoying because
Western Conference team usually win the chip.
No, because the greater than the sport names are in the West. But they've been in the league forever. And the experience factor there is so different, and organizationally as well. So when you look at the Bucks, well, who are they playing? They're playing like status the Celtics, also young. They're playing like status the 76ers, and up until and the Pacers, and up until Jimmy got there, the Heat. There's a bunch of young teams out there, and that's gonna be it's the race.
You know what's crazy?
Arms,
we can't say up until Jimmy got there because the Heat have been a team that has veterans because you remember UD's been there forever.
Yeah,
and Jimmy came the year after D Wade came. D Wade's the consummate vet. D Wade is Bam's vet.
All right, but that was exactly. But he was there in a kind of. It wasn't he wasn't their best three players. Low key, he wasn't.
I will say that Like their best 3 players when he was there, it was literally like it was Dragic and it was 2 other dudes. I think Wayne Ellington was top 3 because of how they used him.
Because they used him like Duncan Robinson.
Exactly. And then he got the spot. But I'm saying vets do something for your franchise. Like, say what you will. Bam had his career year after being D-Wade's rook.
Yeah.
Like, after D-Wade was his vet. You feel me? So it's just like Tyler Hero doesn't have the confidence he does without Jimmy. Like, it's just having vets in the locker room is very important. And say what you will, I thought, like, and it doesn't have to be a championship level vet. It has to be someone who understands what it takes to, like, win or is willing to put the work in. Which is why, and it turns out, sorry to go sidebar with the Celtics again, Al Horford was important for us to that reason.
Yeah.
And it showed when we needed it most. Yep. We didn't have a vet. It's sad.
I mean, look at
OKC.
The Bucks. Or
OKC, we would never have made it as far as we did.
OKC overperformed because of Chris Paul, man.
We wouldn't have.
And you know what's crazy? It's so frustrating because it's like there are teams that you're gonna try to, as a young team, you can't. Like I said, the Phoenix Suns can attract vets, like good vets, because
they did. Aaron Baines, Ricky Rubio, who
finally,
much,
true. But that's what I mean. Like, if you could, but the first year they actually tried to attract good vets, they almost make the playoffs. And you could say, well, they didn't. This is the closest the Suns came to making the playoffs.
Didn't they win like 11 games straight or something?
They won all the games in the bubble. They won all their games.
I don't, bro.
Like, and that has a lot to do with Aaron Baines. That has a lot to do with the vets they brought in. But it's just like, man. So to me, personally, like I love my team and how it's constructed. But I understand fully, and this year truly showed it. You can't win in this league without vets. You can't win in this league without vets, man.
For championship aspirations, it's like
like if you want to wait for your guys to turn into the veterans, then you have to go through the growing pains.
True.
If you're not gonna go out and get a veteran, then you gotta go through the growing pains that make somebody a vet.
And you know what happens when you're in the growing pains?
You lose.
KG goes to Celtics, Shaq goes to the Lakers, LeBron goes to Miami,
Joel Embiid goes
to the Lakers.
Embiid goes somewhere.
LeBron takes his talents
Jason
to South
Tatum
Beach.
Goes to
relax.
But I would also say,
nip this in the butt next year.
Like, one thing about the way the league is going with like smaller lineups and more skill and all this and all that, to me, it wasn't the young teams. That wasn't the difference to me. This year, we saw a lot of teams trying to beat other teams in the mold of the Rockets and like aspiring to beat like the Golden State Warriors. To beat the Golden State Warriors, you had to go small and switch everything. So everyone went out and got a ton of wings. Everyone out here is like switchable 1 through 4, 1 through 5. But the teams in the playoffs who overperformed, if you look at it, other than the Raptors, the Denver Nuggets overperformed. The Mavericks overperformed. This is like a team that have bigs, a guard type of player and a big. OKC overperformed. The only one that didn't was the Raptors. And I mean, people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, the Bucks. The Bucks are huge," but everyone knows that
they're not a veteran team, and Giannis is their
center. They're basically their center.
What about the Rockets?
But that's what I said.
They were built like a lot. There were a lot of veterans on that team.
But that's But they ran into it. But that's the case. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
OKC had young guys with Chris Paul and Steve-O, and then the Rockets.
Gallo too.
Yeah, I mean, Gallo has won before. Yeah, I mean, he's been on.
His most of his success came on those years with the Nuggets, though.
I mean, my point was not even to the young versus old thing. It was just like the teams that won, that overperformed.
Exactly, they had vets. But that's my thing because that's
what I'm saying. Like, I think like I think y'all would have won if y'all had big, because what happened?
I think we would have won if we had Al.
I mean, yeah, but Bam went crazy and y'all lost because of that.
Yeah.
Or you look at the Mavs; they almost beat the Clippers because they had a big who can do it all. You look at OKC, they had a big in the center, and their defense was OP. Their defense is the best in the league.
So to sidebar to the Clippers, who are frauds, look, Montrezl Harrell is not it. Either give more minutes to Zubats or just suffer at the hands of AD and KP for the rest of your careers because y'all can't guard bigs with
KP,
Montrez.
he means Kentavious called Lil Pope. No, I'm joking.
You know what? It's the Clippers, so I'll allow it to stand.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I said it. Shout out to Chris Apps for Porzingis. We love you, bro. Come back.
Much love.
Healthy.
I need you to stay healthy so the top 3 big men in the league can look like
Germany.
AD, Jokic, and Chris Apps Porzingis.
Bro. Put the serum in your knee, bro. You know,
He said
go
put the serum
bionic.
in.
Bro. Yo, hang on, wait. So we're all in agreement to win. It's vets.
That was never a question.
It wasn't a question, but I brought it into question simply for the fact that
y'all lost.
We did lose, but also I did it because also the Nuggets and us got to the same place, and we each beat teams that should realistically in those close moments because of the veteran difference could have beaten us. The Clippers should have beaten the Nuggets. They didn't, and the Clippers had the more veteran squad. The youth beat that. They had the Clippers had the 2-time Finals MVP, mad people who have postseason experience. They have all-stars. Like, it didn't matter versus the young talent. The Raptors, as much as you want to say the Celtics had more talent, the Raptors are a championship team with or without Kawhi, and they showed that.
Yep.
So it's like, and we still got over that. So there are moments where you could say, yeah, but this is what it means to grow up. Like, as a youngin, this is what you want to see. Like, the Nuggets and Celtics grew up.
Yeah, for sure.
They had to grow up to get to the conference finals. It's just that they didn't get past what they needed to get to. And we could call it talent. It's not, well, on the Nuggets side, we could call it talent.
All right, we're going to stop disrespecting the Miami Heat, bro. They're just as talented as anybody else.
No, they are just as talented. But if you were to sit down with me objectively and be like, who has more talent on the team?
Apparently, Jimmy Butler is the best player between the two teams.
Apparently, but you saw that in the finals, not because of the Eastern Conference Finals. And that's what I mean.
And that's what's so
that's
crazy.
Exactly right.
Because then Bam is also there too.
Exactly.
And Goran Dragic.
Exactly. But I feel like Bam's success, not going to take nothing away from him. Great guy, great motor, great player. His success is also situational. He needs to expand his offensive game.
Yo,
like
playing around greats.
I'm not going to fault him for going off against us because he was the most athletic big on the court all the time. Like, do what you're supposed to do in those moments.
Bro,
but he goes
in one game.
Exactly.
I mean,
he did it. He did it.
He did it.
He had a monster game in one game, which is the game they needed to win. So kudos to him. But he was the best big in the game all series.
Honestly, bro, looking into next year for the Eastern Conference, it's freaking.
But wait! Before we get into that, there's one topic we got to address first. How much longer can LeBron James be this?
Forever.
Yo.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I used to hate LeBron.
Still hate LeBron.
That's crazy.
Respect the hell out of him.
I always respected him, but I was just like, really? You going to the Heat? And now he's on my team. I'm just like, dang, this man type, yo, this nigga really is about it, bro. Like, he's low-key tough. All right. Let me answer that. So, we were okay in our off-season acquisitions, apparently. You know, according to most people. We got disrespected for it. We won a championship, so it didn't matter. We're going to get better this offseason, which means less load on LeBron. While I'm not out here claiming LeBron is going to go all 82 next season, LeBron has shown us that he is aging. Am I right? He's shown us that, he's not getting up as high. He's doing a lot of reverse, underhand layups. You can see it.
But it's not a sharp decline.
It's not a sharp decline.
Like, if you showed any casual NBA fan, they probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they look at besides looking at his hairline.
That was always a problem.
That was always a problem. But I think with AD getting better and with other, like, acquisition of mid-level talent, LeBron can go on for another another year of being the best player. I don't know. It all depends on Kevin Durant.
I'd give him maybe 1 to 2 years
of being the best player.
Or
at talks for 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I would give him 2 more years.
Oh, as the best player in the league. Okay, I was about to say you give him 1 or 2 more years to play.
No.
Because the way he looks, he could play. He could play like 6 years.
I think he's going to 40.
I think he's definitely
going past 40.
Man, he's 35 right now, right? Yeah, so he's definitely playing to 40. We thought he was waiting on. I think he's waiting for his son to get into the league, which would be 2 more.
2 to 3.
He's gonna be a sophomore this year. He's a sophomore this year. So it's like
junior,
he's got like 3 years,
Unless
3
his son
years.
messes
But
up
I
and
think
goes
he's
to
got.
college.
I think
What?
LeBron, the way he looked, and then there's something to be said about the rejuvenation of winning.
Yes.
All right, when you win, you feel like you could just do whatever. So LeBron winning this, and not only winning this, LeBron winning this, and also winning his 4th Finals MVP, where it's just like I was the best player on the best team,
I want my damn
best
respect.
record. I want my damn respect. You know what that said to me? That said, y'all niggas thought
He's still looking at Jordan.
that he's still looking for 6, bro.
Yeah, I think he's still looking.
He's still looking. He's not gonna voice it as much. He's not gonna voice it, but
and
you
I
can
think
see
AD
it.
can take us there.
somebody. But more importantly, man. More importantly, I think we're all in agreement here. LeBron's got like 5 years minimum left. Because the way he looked this postseason, the way he takes care of his body, the way he's a machine. We talk about Kawhi as a robot. We talk about Klay as a robot. Klay tore his ACL. Kawhi has quad injuries. LeBron's a monster.
Kawhi only plays every.
Kawhi has knee problems.
Kawhi plays like 66% of the games every year. So it's like LeBron just came off a season where he played every game.
Should have been the MVP.
And should have been the MVP.
And AD should have been Defensive Player of the Year.
Should have been. I'm not going to say.
Rob Pelinka should have been Executive of the Year.
Come on, bro. You can't have everything. All right. But more importantly, all right, we all knew this, and LeBron's great and will continue to be great for at least a 5-year period.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's sad to say, ladies and gentlemen, but that's it on 2020 basketball in terms of the games being played. Championship has been won. We went through COVID. We went through the death of Kobe Bryant. And Gianna, rest in peace. We went through the heartache of mass shootings of black people. And we came back, which is still going through it. And for the NBA to come back, and here's one thing. We talked about this, right? You and I had this conversation, like all three of us have. Some people, like, different people look to different things for sanctuary. And for a lot of us, it's sports. Watching basketball. I know I don't find sanctuary in NASCAR. So, basketball. And for the league to come back and provide a healthy situation for their players. No cases of COVID at all during the whole thing. To provide a situation where their players can have a voice to speak out on the injustice, because the league is what 80% black?
Probably more.
It's wild. So to come out at this time, in this health crisis, in this social climate, and do what everybody did, it's kudos, it's nothing but respect, it's nothing but love. And I firmly believe, like, it's a thank you, man, because a lot of people, this saved a lot of people's 2020. Like, this return, it saved, like, and that might sound weird to some people, but it's like I said, everybody has their own sanctuary. Some people it's singing, some people it's writing, some people it's solitude, some people, whatever it is. For a lot of people, it's basketball. And for the league to come back and have the success it did while it came back and to put out a product that was this desirable, it's nothing but respect. So I'm happy that Adam Silver,
Michelle Roberts, all of them,
everybody in the NBPA, everybody, man, big shout out
to Disney, workers and all that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Russ and any player that left a fat tip for those workers putting their lives on the line, all right, because they deserve it. All right, I've been essential, and that tip that says a lot.
Yeah. Shout out to Stan Van Gundy.
Shout out to Stan.
Yo, and shout out to Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy.
And Jeff Van Gundy. Shout out to Doris Burke. Shout out to any of the announcers. First off, shout out to Doris Burke, who's a national treasure.
You know what? And he was crazy. Like, they started off the bubble doing 2 games a day. Shout out to y'all for not losing your voice and trying to bring some enthusiasm every single day.
Because it's like they had to risk, like Hubie Brown wasn't here, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't about to risk his life for y'all.
Come on.
And thank God, because if I lost Hubie Brown this year, I couldn't. And I've heard people say bad things about Hubie Brown as an announcer. I love Hubie Brown. I love Hubie Brown, bro. I love Hubie Brown. But on to the most important question, all right? Like I said, this year done. But next year. Quick thoughts, boys. Because like I said, a lot of these new episodes is going to be based off hypotheticals, going to be based off of bringing up past stuff, it's going to be based off future stuff. So this is the first taste of that. Next year, who do you think can come for the throne? Because LeBron's back on it, and the Lakers, the kingdom is painted purple and gold right now. So who can dethrone the champs next year?
Well, obviously, people's probably favorites, Brooklyn.
Okay.
You know, Golden State's going to be completely healthy next year, so people are going to be rooting for Golden State. And it's going to be like nothing ever happened for them. Of course, there's the Celtics. And, you know, if the Raptors manage to keep everybody together, then Raptors are always a choice.
Fuck them dinosaurs.
Yeah, but that's really about it. I can't even confidently say Milwaukee.
I'm going to confidently say a couple teams. A, Clippers are frauds, bitch-ass niggas, frauds.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, Denver too.
Also Denver. Nah, I feel like Denver is a wing. Denver is an elite wing away from being a...
They have it. If they resign...
Hey. I didn't say they needed to go find an elite wing. Yeah. I just said they're an elite wing away, which also implies somebody on that team could grow into their elite wing, then they're a problem.
They're going to get better by saying goodbye, Paul Millsap, just on that alone.
Please, God. Once they get rid of Paul Millsap and give the minutes who's supposed to get the minutes, bro, they're going to be such a problem. But
once
like I said,
teach Michael Porter Jr.
how to play defense.
How to not be a freaking
liability, bro. Like, I've never seen someone be a cone drill repeatedly to different levels of scrub.
You know what? I'm optimistic because I've seen Kuzma go from a traffic cone to a slightly larger traffic
You said to a slut?
All right. Anyway, I'm definitely all right. So for next year, I am still looking at Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard deserves respect.
Yeah.
Right? So the Clippers are going to be there. Even without Marcus Morris, because he's probably going to be gone. Even without Montrezl Harrell, because he's probably going to be gone.
Why'd you get rid of your second best player?
Anyway.
Where are you going to trade him to?
So the Rockets, it's fire for that.
Dead. I don't know what's happening, but small ball is dead. Next episode, we're going to get into that.
I don't know about I don't think Golden State's going to be competing for a championship this year.
Top 4 seed in the West, book it.
Yeah, if we see them, we're going to smack them. That's the only thing. You know, like, we're going to smack them.
I feel like people forgot, so let me remind you.
No, we did not forget. The only difference is Klay Thompson was an elite defender before his ACL injury.
Klay Thompson had over a year off, and with today's modern medicine,
he's still going to have to get back in basketball.
110%. 110%. But he's going to have a season.
Yeah,
bro, but that's the kill to me. That's the kill to me.
Well, they're not
they say you're never fully back until year 2 after the ACL tear. By the time the postseason starts, it will be over year 2, bro. Him taking the whole season off was wild. Like, it was wild. Because most people would have tried to come back, like, at the end of the season if their team is really going there.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm looking at 2.5 teams. It's the Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, and maybe the Golden State Warriors in the West. In the East, you never know because all of them are just so young, and it's just like they have so much talent, and it's like, are they
to be honest
gonna put it together or not? And I could say that about every single team except for the Raptors, who are on the downfall because, you know, the Raptors, they're the Raptors.
My opinion is quick, short, sweet, and to the point. I'm very high on the Warriors for next year. I know I seem to be the only person sharing that sentiment. The way I look at it is this. They have the same team. Well, they have the same core, minus Livingston and Iguodala. And you could say, oh, well, there's half the championship. They have the unanimous 2-time MVP. They have Klay Thompson still. And as much as we hate him, they have Mr. Intangible, Draymond Green. And we just talked about vets, right? They have a bunch of young talent. They could draft really well. And they still have the most talent on their wing since Kevin Durant. Like,
Andrew Wiggins.
No, 110%. 110%. Like, and then we're not asking you to be a star, Andrew. We're just asking you to be better than Harrison Barnes.
And do what?
We're just asking him to be better than Harrison Barnes.
Hold on. You think Draymond is going to make Andrew I give a lot of crap to Draymond Green. Do you think he's going to make Andrew Wiggins turn into a good player?
I think Andrew Wiggins has two choices. He's either going to be known as a universal pussy because he couldn't handle Jimmy Butler's beratement and he can't handle Draymond Green's beratement, or he's going to say, fuck that. I'm not going to keep getting bitched. I'm going to just play better.
True.
Yeah.
Those are his only two
really-
options. Because if
that's
you
really
get run
about
out of town because of tough love for Draymond, people are just gonna assume you're soft, bro.
What year is he in, by the way?
Who cares what year he's in? He came in 2013 or 2014, bro. You should be a star by now, or you should be making a. You got a fat contract for averaging 20 and losing every game. Get out of here. You're with the Warriors now, and as much as we hated them for 5 years because they were so great, they're an elite organization who will return to greatness. And say what you will about greatness championship. Look, I'm a Celtics fan, and I'm here to tell you the Warriors are a top 3 franchise, regardless of their wins. But it's going to be the Warriors, the Clippers. I have the Nuggets. They're a wing away. And in the East, it's really only, to me, it's the Nets and it's the Celtics. Because the Bucks aren't attracting anybody else to come help Giannis. And even if the Raptors keep everybody together, what the Raptors are missing is a superstar. So unless you're telling me Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam is going to take like 4 to 5 steps into their development. And to be very honest, I love Fred. His ceiling is almost there. He's almost reached his ceiling to me. So it's like, unless you're telling me Pascal's going to come back super different, then it's only the Celtics and the Nets that I see that could really have the potential, because the Bucks are the same. But, you know, this was that episode, man. And just to be clear, just because the season's done, don't think I'm going to disappear. Don't think he's going to disappear. And don't think he's going to disappear. Because we're recording again next week, Thursday. Shout out producer, man. We're going to be back. We're going to be giving you episodes in this offseason because I understand
here in this
the
NBA
pain,
season.
All right? It's the pain.
The respect from those
You
two.
think everybody abandoned
And that's
me.
it.
Your
It's
family
over.
start talking
This
about,
historic
why don't you hang out with us? I don't even
NBA
like y'all. You feel me? It
championship
happened.
belongs to the Los Angeles
We got
Lakers.
y'all.
The
We gonna still
Lakers
be here.
conquer the bubble,
Tune into the Recreational
and
Hoopers
banner number
podcast. We'll
17
be coming
will
out
soon
weekly.
hang in the
We're going to
rafters.
keep y'all informed. We're going to keep y'all
Final
basketball ready.
seconds
We're going to keep y'all
here in this NBA
basketball.
season. The respect from those
Bless
two. And that's it. It's over. This historic 2020
Congratulations,
NBA
bitch ass nigga.
championship belongs to the Los
Thank you.
Angeles Lakers.
All right.
The Lakers conquer
Fade
the
us out.
bubble, and banner number 17 will soon hang in the rafters.
If you like CBD, Ocean State Job Lot